Hi, 7th grade. All I wanted to do today was put in some rules, everything, kind of summarize everything that we've done the last 2 days, okay? What we've been working with is circumference, and I loved a lot of aha moments. You're like, oh, now I get it, especially the difference between the radius and the diameter. And then the first day we did the area, okay? So let's kind of review and formalize that in our interactive journal. So what is the formula for circumference? There were two, weren't there? And it depends on whether you're given the diameter or given the radius. So we can use pi d, or we can use 2 pi r. And those formulas are exactly the same because 2r is the same thing as d, isn't it? The only reason we put the 2 there is because it is a coefficient. Okay, now let's look at, are you given the radius or diameter? Okay, so if you're given the radius, you multiply by 2 to get the diameter, and you substitute. I say don't. All you have to do is use the formula that you were given. If you're given the diameter, okay, then you're going to use this one, is for the diameter. If you're given this one, is when you're given the radius. Okay? Sorry. All right, and then the next one, what is the formula for the area? And we found out that it was pi r squared, and that does not mean multiplying your radius times 2, and that's a really common misconception, a common error. Remember that I like to say you multiply pi times r times r. Okay? Very, very important. So go ahead, we are going to glue that down, but I want to set it aside for a second. The other one you were given was finding the area. Okay? We're going to use our reference sheet, and the reference sheet, especially because you're given this on the STAR test, you don't have to memorize any of this. So as you're looking at it, you notice you go down to area, and I find a circle, and I go over, and it is pi r squared. Okay? Now remember that I said to utilize the number 3 instead of 3 and 14/10 for the very reason you're preventing miscalculation, okay? So let's copy the formula, pi r squared. I'm going to substitute my known values. So I have pi. Do we know what pi is? Yeah, it's 3. So actually I shouldn't have even written that, huh? So 3 times, and what is my radius? 10. And I'm going to square that number. And remember, I'm going to rewrite that as 3 times 10 times 10. We know that 3 times 10 is 30. 30 times 10 is going to give you 300. And we know that the unit was a centimeter. And when we're working with area, it is always a two-dimensional object. Okay? All right, let's do one more. I'm going to write down my formula. Okay. Now I'm going to substitute my values. A 3 for pi. Remember, parentheses, you can use it or not. It doesn't matter. Especially with multiplication, I like to use it. My radius is 15. And I'm going to multiply it times my radius again. Okay. So 3 times 15 is going to give me 45. And I'm still going to multiply that times 15. Okay. And remember, I can still create an equation, right? That is what we're doing, except for it's just a calculation now to give me the area of a circle. So 45 times 15. And I can go off to the side. I'm going to use my scratch. Okay, 5 times 5 is 25. Carry your 2. 5 times 4 is 20. 22. Bring down my 0. And I have a 45. And add. So my answer is 675 inches squared. Okay? Now I want you to do the last one by yourself. But there's one, if you notice, you have a warning sign here. We are given what? We're given the diameter. So what I need to do is find out what this is. And remember that the radius is 1/2, or divide by 2. What's 28 divided by 2? is 14. Okay, and that's what I'm going to use in my formula. So pi r squared, or what did I say? Pi times r times r. But you're going to use the number 14 for your radius. Okay? All right, you will glue that in. Now we're going to do one more. Finding the circumference. Now we have two formulas. One is pi d, or 2 pi r. Okay? Now, if you're given the diameter, I'm going to use the formula that has the diameter in it. So pi d. Substitute my values, and I'm going to use 3 for pi. My diameter is 24. Here's what I love to do, a little bit of I am so sorry, I'm sitting here off the screen. 3 times 24. Do 3 times 2 would give you 60. Okay? 3 times 4 is 12. 60 plus 12 would give you 72. And I never even had to do the long division or long multiplication. Always do your unit. Now here's the trick. If you're doing area, your unit is always going to be squared. But when you're doing circumference, your unit is a distance, because it's the distance around the circle. It has nothing to do with area. Okay? All right, so let's look at this one. They've given us a diameter, so my circumference is equal to pi times the diameter. My pi is 3, and my diameter is 10. My answer is going to be 30. Okay? And the last one. The circumference is equal to, they've given us the radius, so 2 pi times your radius. Now I'm going to substitute my values. 2 times 3, my radius is 6. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 6 is 36 and inches. And the other one was inches too. Okay? All I want you to do is put these one by one, glue them into your notebook. The homework that I gave you, I want you to practice real-world applications. We did a little bit of that just the other day. I don't think, a lot of you are doing a great job. I don't think you're going to have problems, but I wanted to formalize all of the formulas in your notebook. And if you have any questions, just let me know.